How the media has represented Mark Zuckerberg in light of the Cambridge Analytica scandal. Needless to say, Mark Zuckerberg has been having a bad week. As the CEO of Facebook, a popular social networking site, Mark has taken responsibility for the recent data scandal between Facebook and Cambridge Analytica, a political consulting firm. If you didn't know, it was revealed that Cambridge Analytica had taken 87 million Facebook users' information without the users' knowledge. Some sources indicate that the information from Facebook may have changed the outcome of the US election and the UK referendum. All of this is relevant to us because of what's known as news values. These values were identified in 1965 by Gauting and Rouge, and are now what's used to determine what's newsworthy. A story such as this one hits almost all of the news values. As usual, the internet ridiculed Mark for his robot-like actions during his Senate hearing. Anyway, the first news source I'm going to look at is Breitbart. Breitbart is an online news organization, and they're on the far right side of the political spectrum. The article is titled "Mark Zuckerberg Explains How Facebook Will Try to Kill Alternative Media." The article is written by Alan Bakari, who is a senior technology correspondent at Breitbart News. Firstly, I ran this image of Mark Zuckerberg through TinEye. TinEye is a reverse image search tool which allows me to find information about a specific image. From there, I found that the image that Bakari used in his article was first posted on the internet July 2017. This means that the image was used out of context. Although this image of Mark Zuckerberg may not directly affect the article or its credibility, it may be trying to reinforce the article's underlying message, that Zuckerberg is the villain trying to kill Breitbart. Trust Vista is another tool that I'll be using to help determine the validity of this article. We see that the article received an 18% score for context, 50% for bias, and a 30% clickbait probability. Right off the bat, the reader is subject to exaggerated and violent language. This is done intentionally by Bakari to elicit a stronger reaction from the reader, and to clickbait the reader into clicking into the article. Overall, this article does not really report anything factual. Most of the article is made up of the Vox Zuckerberg interview, and everything else seems to be opinion-based and biased against Mark Zuckerberg. The next article I'll be looking at is an article by naturalnews.com. Again, this online site is right-wing in nature. The article is titled "Mark Zuckerberg Proposes a Facebook Supreme Court to Rule on Hate Speech. More Censorship Ahead." J.D. Hayes is the writer of this article, but I'll talk about him more later. After a quick search on TinEye, I found out that the image used in the article dates back to July 2013. Again, this means that this image has no relation with the article itself. The use of the term censorship can be seen as a way to target conservative American readers that care deeply about their First Amendment rights. Additionally, this can be seen as an attempt by the writer to create a moral panic within the eyes of the readers. Throughout this article, the writer uses informal and unprofessional language. This should already be a red flag for readers of this site. However, frequent readers may not notice anything wrong because of confirmation bias. Hayes also tries to use fallacious reasoning to try to disrepute Mark Zuckerberg. The fact that Facebook lost $1 billion in market value has nothing to do with the article. 3 sources are listed at the end: News Target, Breitbart, and the National Sentinel. If we look back at Hayes' bio, we see that he's professionally related to 2 of the 3 sites he used as a source. My point with this is that the sources used for this article are extremely unreliable and biased, mostly because of Hayes' relationship with 2 of the 3 sources. For my last source, I'll be looking at a news article from Reuters, which is a news agency. On the political spectrum, Reuters is politically neutral. The article is called "Facebook Zuckerberg Unscathed by Congressional Grilling, Stock Rises," and was written by Dustin Volz and David Ingram. From TinEye, I found out that the image used was taken on the same day that the news article had been posted. This means that the image is relevant to the story, and has not been taken out of context. On Trust Vista, the article received 84% for context, 100% for overall sentiment, and a 14% clickbait probability. As we look at the actual article, we see that the 2 writers covered the story in an extremely objective and unbiased manner. We see them include instances where Mark Zuckerberg performed well, and times when he performed not so well. Nonetheless, I think that this article from Reuters is an extremely good example of an article that is reliable and trustworthy. In this video, I believe that I've objectively looked at several news articles covering Mark Zuckerberg and how they have represented him. Thanks for watching.